Hello everyone and welcome back to another video here on my channel. We're doing another episode of the Building University series, and we're gonna get started right away because we do have quite a bit to cover. We're gonna be going over all of the basics of World Edit, all the commands that you really need to know. So let's get started. We're going to start off by doing the command that you see here, which is F3 plus H. It's not really a command, it's just something that you type on your keyboard. The reason for doing this is because by default on Minecraft, you can only see the block names when looking at your inventory. By doing F3 and H at the same time, you'll make it to where you can see the block IDs whenever you hover over the blocks on your inventory. This will be very useful because when you're working with World Edit, you're also going to be working with a lot of block IDs, and it's easier to type out the numbers than typing out the whole block name. Now, let's press on to get in the tool that you'll be using the most with World Edit. Type in chat / wand. By doing this, you'll get a wooden axe, which is basically your wand or your tool that you can be using for anything World Edit related, just about anything. Now let's move on to the next commands, which are / undo and / redo. You'll be mainly using / undo because for the most part you'll be making mistakes and you'll want to undo some of the commands. Let's start by learning / set. By doing / set, you are going to be setting a big amount of blocks. You are able to specify what block you want to be setting. Here on screen, you can see how I'm making a cube out of stone by doing / set 1. I could also do / set stone in case I didn't know the ID for it. Now, you can make big cubes like this, or you could also make floors or walls. So for a floor, I'm gonna do / set 98, which is the ID for stone brick, and it creates a stone brick floor. Also, I can make a wall by doing / set wall, and you can see it makes a big wall. You just gotta keep in mind that whenever you're making any selection of any size, you're making basically an invisible cube that's gonna affect a specific area. So just try to imagine that whenever you're selecting different points. Now let's move on to copy and paste. I'm gonna select the wool blocks that you see here, the colorful ones, and I'm gonna select them, stand on top of this lapis block, and copy them. Whenever you're copying and pasting, the location from where you copy matters a lot. You can see I move on to a different lapis block and paste it, and it pastes right in front of me just like how I was positioned whenever I copied it. If I go and copy it from further back, whenever I go and paste it, it's going to be further forward because it's pasting relative to the position where I copied it from. Same again applies if I move further back and go and paste it again. So the copying location is very important. Whenever you're copying any selection, make sure that you're copying it from the location that you want to copy from, or else whenever you paste it in again, you may not be pasting it exactly where you want it to. Now let's move on to rotating selections. To rotate a selection, you're gonna have to copy it first. So you see here, I'm copying this 3x3 little build, and I'm gonna be rotating it. The position where you copy it from is also going to determine how you're going to be rotating it because it's going to be pasting relative to your position. You're able to rotate by 90 degrees, 180 degrees, or 270 degrees, or even 360 degrees. Although 360 degrees is basically just going to bring it back to where it started. So you see first here, I rotate the little square by 90 degrees. Then I rotate it by 180 degrees, paste it, and then I rotate it again by 270 degrees and paste it. Now let's move on a little bit farther away from our original copy location and rotate the square. You could see that whenever we rotate, it gets pasted farther away because it's relative to the position for where you copied it from. This applies the same way to the copy and pasting, where it really matters where you copy it from, or else your rotation is not going to be where you want it to be. So here I move on even further out, I copy it and I rotate it by 90, and you can see it gets pasted really far away. Sometimes you do want to do this, you just need to get used to how it works, and you'll be able to do it perfectly each and every time. Now let's move on to / flip. / flip kinda works like rotating, well not really. It's kind of a complement to / rotate because / rotate is not going to be able to flip things, and sometimes you're going to want to have stuff flipped. Let's look at this little structure here as an example. If I want to have this side symmetrical on the other side, I would not be able to just rotate the build. It wouldn't work. I would need to be able to flip it. So I select the first half, or like this half of the build. I do / flip. I look at the direction where I want it to flip, and then I paste it. So / flip flips relative to where you are looking. If I'm looking up, it would flip the build upside down. If I'm looking in one direction, it'll flip it that way. If I'm looking at a different direction, it'll flip it the other way. So you just kind of need to get used to that. You could also type out the directions in chat, but I find it easier just to look in the direction where I want it to flip. And you can see after I flip it, it's completely done and it's symmetrical and it looks nice. It's not something that I would have been able to achieve just using / rotate. Now let's move on to / stack and / replace. You can see this little section here with a little window. I'm going to be stacking this and I'm going to quickly make a wall for a skyscraper. So I start off by selecting the little build, I copy it, and then I can stack it. Stacking works kind of like, it's basically copying and pasting things but in a line, and it pastes this in the direction that you are looking. So in this case, I made my selection, I copy it, and then I look this way and it pastes it in a line. I did / stack 4. Now it looks nice, right? One of the things that I don't like though is that the pillars are 2 blocks wide, and because of this I'm gonna undo it. I'm gonna go and make a different selection where I don't copy the second pillar of my initial build. I stack it 4 times and it looks nice now with just having the pillars 1 block wide. I do have to go in at the end and add in that little section that was missing, but that's not really a big issue. So I basically have the first floor here of a skyscraper. So I'm gonna make that selection again, and this time whenever I stack, I'm gonna look up because I want the build to stack upwards. So I'm gonna select it and stack it upwards, and you can see here we have basically a wall of a skyscraper, and it was super simple and super quick to do. Now you see that I basically left in all the lapis that was in the original little section. I'm gonna select the entire wall, do / replace 22 because that's the ID for the lapis lazuli block, / replace 22 0, and it's going to replace all the lapis blocks with air. So as simple as that, you have a nice skyscraper wall, and you could do this in many other builds. It doesn't necessarily have to be just skyscrapers. Now we get to the part where you get to generate spheres and cylinders and the hollow variations of those. I'm gonna go and stand over here on this lapis block, and I'm gonna make a sphere out of quartz with a radius of 3. Now whenever I do this, I basically kind of get trapped into the sphere and I have to break out. I'm gonna make a cylinder of quartz, radius of 3, and I'm gonna make it 10 blocks tall. Again, here you can see how I get trapped in the cylinder, so it's not really that useful. It is useful, but you just gotta keep in mind that you have to break out. Let's use the hollow variations of this commands. So doing / hsphere, and again I type in quartz with a radius of 3, it generates the sphere, but now it's hollow. And again, you still kind of have to break out of the sphere, but this time you only really have to break 1 block to get out. When I do the hollow cylinder, all I have to do is / hcyl, and it's gonna generate a hollow cylinder. I'm doing this one out of quartz, again radius of 3 and 10 blocks tall, and you can see it's hollow and it doesn't have the top or the bottom, so I'm just able to fly out. I don't have to break any other blocks. These commands are kind of useful when you're working with structures, you're making towers, things like that. Now let's learn how to use some brushes. We're gonna learn how to use / br sphere and / br smooth. / br sphere, this command basically generates a sphere. You're gonna need to grab kind of like a miscellaneous item out of your inventory. You cannot have sphere, or you cannot have brushes on actual blocks, so a stick, a gem, something like that would work. By doing the command, it attaches the brush to the item. So I'm doing / br stone, and you can see how whenever I click around, it makes stone spheres, and it's pretty easy, right? On another item, I'm gonna do / br smooth, and I'm able to smooth out the stone. And by doing this, you know, you can see how it kind of blends it all in together. So this could be useful for terrain. It's not really as useful as the smoothing that you are able to do with the Voxel Sniper plugin, which I've done a video on that already. There will be a link in the description. But it's still useful nevertheless. So it might be something worth considering. So that's really about it with the BR sphere. You are going to be able to do way much more, and we're going to get to that right now. So let's learn how to use /mask and percentages, which is one of the most complicated things in World Edit, but it's something that applies to most of the commands like BR sphere, making cylinders or spheres, or when you're setting blocks, or whenever you're replacing blocks. So I want to add some granite to the terrain that you see here. If I do /br sphere and I do 1:1, which is the ID for granite, it's just gonna place granite spheres whenever I use my brush. Now what I want to do is put that into the terrain. So I'm gonna do /mask1, and you can see now I'm able to basically paint the granite into the terrain. This is one of the easiest ways for you to be able to paint terrain. Now let's do percentages. I want to kind of blend in the granite with the regular stone. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna type out the command /br sphere. I'm gonna make it 50% granite and 50% regular stone, and I'm gonna keep the stone masked. So now whenever I brush it into the terrain, you can see how it's doing 50% of the granite and 50% of the stone. So you could kind of change up the percentages to your liking. You could change the blocks. It's really a really useful tool for you to be able to use. Now let's learn how to mask but on top of blocks. So this is whenever I just want to be able to place blocks on top of other blocks without them affecting the terrain. So this would be useful for whenever, let's say, I want to be able to place down grass. In this case, you can see the grass or the grass square that I have here. I'm gonna make a brush that's gonna be 50% redstone and 50% air, and I'm gonna mask over the grass. So you can see the syntax here on screen that you need to use for the command. Now by doing this, I'm able to just place the redstone blocks on top of the grass. And after I'm happy with the way I have it, I can then select the region and then replace that with the bone meal percentages that I want. So in this case, I'm going to do just a little bit of grass, and the rest could be air. You can switch it up depending however you want. You could add flowers, things like that. So it's one of the easiest ways to do custom bone meal on any build that you're making. Now we're going to do /setbiome. By doing this, you are able to change the biome of your selection. So I'm going to select the square here again, and I'm going to be changing the biome to forest. Now, depending on the server that you're building on, some servers update automatically, others don't. Mine doesn't. So what I have to do is I have to reload the chunks. So I just exit the world and then I come back in, and you can see how now that selection is forest. It's a bit of the grass is a bit greener, it's a bit brighter. There's a big biome list that you can look at. There will be a link to one actually down below, so you can kind of know what the different biomes are that you could use. Now we're getting closer to the end here, so I'm just going to show you some of the miscellaneous commands that you might still consider using every once in a while. So this one here is going to be //walls, //fill, and //drain. So //walls is basically a shortcut to making big squares, if that makes sense, instead of having to do //set for each side of the wall. So I'll make my selection, do //wall. In this case, I'm making it cyan clay, and you can see it makes the walls all around based on my selection points. So pretty easy and simple, and it could save you a little bit of time. Now I'm gonna do //fill and fill it up with water. You could also fill with other types of blocks, but in this case I'm gonna be using water so I could demonstrate the next command, which is gonna be drain. So I do //fill water, and then you choose a radius that you think is big enough to cover whatever you're filling, and the command goes through and it fills it up with water. Now I'm gonna drain it by doing //drain and using the same radius, so I make sure that I drain all the water that I have. //drain basically works with water and lava. And now let's get to another command that might be useful whenever you're working on a map. Maybe the water levels get mixed up and you want to fix it. There's a command for that. Just stand on the level that you want the water to be fixed, and do //fixwater, do a radius, and it's gonna fix the water for you. So these are just some nice little commands that you could use here and there to help you out. Another one is actually being able to make selections without actually having to use your wand. By doing this, you do //hpos1 or //hpos2, and this kind of helps whenever you're selecting stuff that's either higher up in the air, because you don't have to build up to make the selections for each corner. You could just be flying around and select it, and once you have your selection, you are able to paste it. Now notice the first time I pasted it in, it pasted in the air as well. One of the cool things that you could do with paste is you could do //paste -a, and this prevents the air from being pasted. And that's probably one of the most useful parts here in the end of the video, where you could do // paste -a. Actually, probably should have included that at the beginning, but it'll be again all down in the description below, all the different commands. And that's basically the basics for world edit. It's actually quite a bit of information, and I would kind of say that's kind of just scratching the surface with some of the stuff that you're able to do with world edit. Now, what you can do from here is practice the commands and see how you could apply it to all of your buildings. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, make sure to leave a like down below and to subscribe for more awesome building content. I do have a lot of other building related videos if you do want to check those out. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.